Tesla just raised its price for the Model 3 all-wheel drive. Again, this is the third time. They also took away two paint options. So very interesting. But on the other hand, they're also adding body shops now that they own. So that's going to help a lot of other things. And remember Jaguar I-Pace? Guess how many of them they are making right now? How many of them they made in August? I will let you know, and we'll talk about it all coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric.
Thank you to those of you who are watching me live on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/e4electric to support the show, to watch me live, and I also share some pictures and videos that I don't usually share on YouTube. And if this is your first time watching me on YouTube, welcome. If you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, well, you came to the right place. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It's free. That way you won't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about it. So Model 3, the production is, I think they're up to over 90,000 of them made, which is kind of amazing, right? It's almost 100,000 they made. They, as you know, the all-wheel drive option came on the market recently, and Elon promised that it's going to be under $5,000 for that extra option, which is less than Model S, Model X. They ended up going with 5,000 anyway. Then they went down to 4,000. I think in August last month they went back to 5, and now they just increased it to 6. As a matter of fact, when you're going to watch this video, I'm not even sure if it's going to be 6. It could be back to 5. It could be at 7. Yeah. So I mean, I think I've gone through less price changes when I'm buying something at the garage sale, and they're kind of negotiating against themselves at this point. I don't know if it's making a big difference in their sort of profit margin, because it is one of the options that people can opt out of, obviously, and they've gone with a $4,000 version just a couple of months ago. I can understand why price goes down, right? The more you make of those, the more you perfect the parts, the cheaper the parts are, and the labor and so forth. And we know that, I believe, the Tesla decreased their labor participation like 30% recently. So why it went up, I don't know. Nevertheless, it went up, and I know it frustrates people, right? Because they already don't know when they're going to be getting their car, almost no matter where they're in the queue. But now they also don't know how much it's going to cost by the time they get there. And of course, here in the US, the incentives are going away or being phased out, the tax rebate. So all of this is just rocking the boat a little bit more. But something that I think actually a bigger news here is that Tesla is going to take two colors, and I don't think there's that many colors, only a few, but they're going to take two of them out. Elon says it's temporarily, and it's metallic silver and obsidian black. Pretty popular colors, right? In general, black and silver is one of the most popular colors besides white. So they're taking it out. Now, we all kind of known, and Elon said it many times, that their bottleneck is their paint shop. And right now, their production rate of Model 3 is even below 4,000 from what I understand. Definitely nowhere near 5, or definitely not near 6,000 where they were hoping to be. And I guess they're eliminating this, or at least making it better, the bottleneck, so they can just move faster through the paint shop. But on another hand, man, taking away colors, that's a tough sell. I haven't seen too many people being that upset yet, but I think this is definitely, I mean, people are really into their colors of their cars, right? And I mean, I know for myself, like, I love black cars. So if someone's selling me a car and they say it doesn't come in black, well, I'll be very upset. I think they do still have one of the two black colors there. I'm just saying that it's a pretty tough sell as far as having less options but charging more money is concerned. Anyway, we'll see how the community reacts. It is what it is. They're definitely cranking them out. Not as fast as they want to, but fast enough to be almost at 100,000, right? All right, let's move on a little bit here. Before that, of course, I want to remind you that Avanex is the sponsor of this channel. There's a description, there's a discount code in the description of this video. They make accessories for Tesla. I have quite a few of them on mine already, so I strongly recommend. But let's move on to Jaguar I-Pace. Remember this car right here? I was actually in love with it when it just came out. Once I saw it inside, I wasn't as hot. I think actually going to go with Audi e-tron. At least I'm going to put my reservation down payment in a couple of weeks. The launch is in a couple of weeks, and I'll be there less than a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that. But guess how many Jaguar I-Pace cars Jaguar made so far? And it's been more than a couple of months that they've been producing it. Well, 558 total, and worse than that, it's only 140 of them were sold in August. Now, remember how big of a deal everybody, including myself, made when Tesla was making pretty much the same numbers when they launched Model 3? No one even is thinking about this. I am, though. I think this is a shame. The difference is, of course, they don't have their own Elon Musk that will be consistently saying that this is how many we're going to make. We're absolutely 100% going to make them. There's no way, this is the number and we're going to hit it, right? They don't have anybody kind of doing that, so we don't even remember. Did they tell us how many of they're going to make? Did they not tell us? Is this 140 a lot? So now, 140 is not a lot. I think if I start a company, electric car company in my garage, we can crank out almost as many in 1 month. Well, that's not true. But you know what I'm saying? For a Jaguar company that's of that size and has enough capital and definitely a long history to launch a new car and not being able to make more than 140 in the second or third month, that's a problem. Again, no one's talking about it, but I think it's a problem. The demand for this car is pretty big. They definitely have quite a few reservation holders in all over the world. Europe, in North America, I believe Waymo has like 20,000 of them on order. So I don't know. It's a problem, and again, because no one's talking about it, Jaguar is not addressing it. I'll keep my eyes on how many of them they make in September, but those numbers better start going up because e-tron is in production already, and they might just outdo the Jaguar, where Audi has been pretty modest about this launch, where Jaguar was yelling and screaming on top of their lungs how this is their thing, right, and promoting this car. All right, let me know in the comment section what you think. I mean, is it a double standard? Absolutely, but is it also Elon Musk's fault that he was kind of getting our expectations really high and then not meeting them? That's definitely part of it. All right, let's go back to Tesla because there's some actually great news. And as a Tesla owner who's had my Teslas, 3 of my Teslas got hit 4 total of times. Well, I know how painful it could be to go to one of in Silicon Valley, I believe, two authorized body shops, and how painful it is to go there because parts are not available sometimes, not many alternatives available. It's extremely expensive to fix it, and it's been a problem. There are more and more owners are reporting that their cars are sitting in those shops for weeks, sometimes for months, waiting for parts. And the body shops are blaming Tesla blaming body shops. They're not sure how they can do that because they're in charge of producing the parts. And it's a problem because, even if insurance is covering your rental car, most of them only cover it up to 30 days. And most of the time they're gas cars and they don't cover gas. Well, Tesla said, okay, we're going to have a bunch of our own body shops now. And they now list 9 of them. They can attach to service centers, from what I understand. Now, the only thing is, I looked at the list. There's one in the LA area, but there's none in Silicon Valley, where there are more Teslas than anywhere. So that's a little weird, but nevertheless, the more the body shops, the merrier. I hope this is just kind of a pilot program and they'll have more because this has been one of the biggest complaints and issues with the Tesla ownership, with the Tesla community. Again, I've had some pains myself, but I see more and more people frustrated about the same thing. So good on them that they're actually going to move forward with their own body shops because obviously they're gonna have to kind of own the whole process, and I hope it will get streamlined much better. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have either good story or bad story about your Tesla having to had some body repairs and what happened with that. But meanwhile, I'm going to move on to a comment of the day. And this is something that I talked about yesterday as the research paper was released about how they were able to hack a Tesla with a key fob Now, they were able to do it over a year ago. They reported it to Tesla. Tesla gave them the money, and they recently fixed it with the new type of the encryption in their new key fob. And secondly, it's with a PIN number that you can kind of enter before you can drive the car, even though you have the actual fob. Now, so Alan Brown commented and says, it's great to be able to protect your car with a PIN code. Nobody can steal it even with the fob. Well, so here's the thing. And just like I said, I've just moderated a panel in the TechCrunch Disrupt 2018 about security, about hacking these cars, right? These cars are no longer cars. They're like high-tech devices on wheels. And the more high-tech you put into them, the more they're connected to the outside world, to the internet, the more they're going to be hacked, right? And usually hackers sometimes, not usually, sometimes are ahead of the technology, no matter how much the manufacturers are trying to curb that. And, you know, sure, that's great to have a PIN code until somebody figures out how to hack that. So it's a cat and mouse game. Great second feature that you can kind of assure that that is an extra protection. I'm assuming you won't be able to. Like, for my taste, I wouldn't want to enter the code every time. If a car's in my garage and I have a security system, which I do, I don't really need that PIN code. I need to enter in the morning. If someone gets into my garage, I will know about it right away. But if I parked it somewhere in a new area I've never been to, then yeah, I'd like to enter the PIN code. So I'm just saying, don't get too excited about this. It will always be like this. The hackers will always try to chase the technology. All right, I gotta get going. I have an event in San Francisco to attend. I will release a video on Saturday or Sunday about that event. I was not really I was asked not to tell you guys what it is. I kind of think you're gonna guess. But you know, we'll see. It should be fun. So I gotta get going, but I will still spend a few minutes with Patreons for our extra mile a segment, and I might actually tell you guys what it is. I think I already did yesterday, so I'll tell you guys. So thank you for those of you who are going to stick around and support me on Patreon and watch the extra mile segment. For the rest of you, I hope you guys have a great day. I will be back here tomorrow once again with more news. Other than that, please remember to stay charged.